All right. Good evening. Welcome back. For those of you who celebrated this long weekend, we are back ready to rock a losers bracket round 5, pretty deep in the bracket for Speedgaming online portion for Link to the Past randomizer. We have on camera facing off with a part of the spoilers team himself, Shadyforce, facing off, of course, the Andy. This is an elimination match. Winner does actually get to go face the one and only Gamachu. This bracket's pretty stacked. Should be a really awesome race. I'm Claire Mouse, of course. Joined with me, of course, is the one and only Dante. Thank you so much. How's it going, guys?
I am here for some spoiler action. And as you said, elimination race, it's going to be exciting. And from what we've seen in the spoiler log so far, I think all of chat's going to be pretty excited. Shady and Andy, maybe not, but we shall see.
That's true. That's true. And yes, tracking for us, by the way, also is Aria. Already have marked the pendants and crystals as well as the medallion entries for Turtle Rock and Bombos, and Turtle Rock and Meyer. We're definitely not gonna get any map checks today because Andy and Shady have already gotten their map checks done straight out of the way because they've got the 15-minute study period. But yeah, as you said, Dan, you're kind of looking initially at this. We got Pendant Ice Palace, always a nice sign if you don't have to go beat Cold Stare, because usually, for spoiler, things can get a little bit low percent.
It can.
And Cold Stare, Vitreous. These are kind of like the hard-hitting bosses that every runner can face off with. And speaking of low percent, for those maybe 5 to 10 people who enjoy swordless seeds, do we have a seed for you?
I'm one of those 5 to 10%.
5 to 10 people? Well, perfect. All right. Well, then, Dante, have I got a seed for you? I don't actually know who rolled this, but we are in for quite the treat.
I did not roll this.
That's true.
That is not something that I did, but we see a pretty similar start here from both of these guys. It'll be interesting to see how they're going to route some of this in. I hope you guys have a nice comfy blanket, as this is going to be a nice pump fest.
That's true.
Today.
Yes. Unfortunately, maybe for especially Shady and Andy, maybe a little bit more so for us. Yes, we are going to have to wait. Hopefully not indefinitely for some footwear, specifically the red kind. We do think that there is a high chance that they will at least get it for the end game, and by end game I mean GT. But until we get all 7 crystals and maybe even a pendant or 2, I don't think that's the case today. But maybe. We are going to be, as you said, we're gonna be slogging the whole way.
Yeah, and that's okay. But that's kind of what spoilers about. We sometimes have to. Do things the slow, the hard way. Even though we have the boots in the sky, hoping they would show up.
That's right. But every once in a while, it's nice to get like a back to basics type of thing. Like it's like when you first boot up the game, right? You're going through the escape sequence, going through Eastern Palace, and you're just like, man, I don't really know what it's like without boots. But then when you get the boots, you just get a better appreciation for it, right? But we have some
divergence already.
Okay,
Andy getting $20 in the back. I wonder if that was muscle memory. It couldn't be. He left 2 items up there, but Shady has decided I'm outie, and he's got those flippers. He's got a hammer. He is heading to the southeastern portion of the world. Andy's going to stay in Kakariko. We'll see what each guy is going to get.
Yeah, this is actually really interesting because, so you're kind of seeing some speculation here in chat for what Andy is potentially going to do with this money. Could be bond money. We're going to actually dip the well. Maybe could be 100 rupees. What could we buy for 100 rupees here in Light World? Yeah, it could be for pod money. Yeah,
in Light World. That's how it works. But we're going to Zora with $0. But you know what? I think we want that glove there on the ledge that we just saw on Shady's screen.
Yeah, so we got the flippers from Blind's Hideout, the most convenient item that you can actually get, the intended, if you will, item that you're supposed to have in order to get Zora Ledge. Never mind, of course, all the other, tricks and tech that all the, both Shady and Andy know in order how to sequence break out this item on the ledge. But yeah, this is, we're just gonna go about, as you said, we're doing things the right way. By the way, speaking of fright, we got a moon pearl here in the dam. We are also gonna get the trained item. Forgot it was here already.
We'll find out. I only know what you told me from the log, so yeah. The swords are not great, chat. It's great for us though. But we got a hammer.
Yeah, it's great.
So some people say we've got our slappers already, slappers only, for a little while.
I mean, if you're playing a Swordless Sea, the hammer is one of the best items you're gonna, get your hands on,
Sure.
right? And this is pretty much a swordless sea. But at least we're gonna be certainly all Light World's gonna be swordless. We'll see in this case how quickly they'll be able to make it into Dark World and get their first sword. Andy might die. Everything is fine.
Him and the southeastern portion of Hyrule.
It's true. Yeah.
Name a better duo as far as taking a death, but hasn't died yet. Luckily, the crab's staying to the south, but Shady, with a little bit of an advantage here early on, got that glove first, so he is going to walk on up and head to Dark World. 4 hearts apiece between the runners. Shady with 6 bombs, going to be able to do Hype Cave. Both bombs probably required today. I mean, there's 5 items. I haven't looked at the log for Hype Cave, but I mean, there's got to be something here, right? We wouldn't go here otherwise.
Yeah, of course not. I mean, it's called Hype Cave for a reason, right? I thought it was because it was Hype. Powder's pretty good. Bombs are always nice. Green
bottle's good. There's our bow.
And a flute. Okay,
all right. Save and quit. Let's go.
Yeah, this was actually quite good. And yeah, actually, chat also kind of pointing out some nice efficiency by Shady. So Andy ended up going, to the dam first, and you'll get the pearl, and as well as his Bombos medallion, which is, of course, we saw it. Arya already marked it as entry to Turtle Rock, which is a crystal. Maybe also we need to go to Ice Palace. We'll see. But that is also another way of getting in there. But yeah, so we're gonna have to. So in this case, Shady was kind of able to save just a little bit of extra time. Just have to make a separate, save and quit Light World South Shore entry in. So that's actually quite nice.
I mean, something to think about here. You don't see this often, but no boots in a spoiler race. Every bit of movement is more exacerbated as far as like
for sure
being punished or capitalizing on it. Shady's routing so far in the first 5 minutes, I think, has been very good. If he wanted to get some of that money that Andy got from the well, he could do so now. With that flute out. All right, Shady, you don't have the mitts. And he knows that you'd see the reaction out of him. This is what we love about the face cams.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. And actually, I think there is. Oh no, I was going to say. So I think there's actually a very slight disadvantage. I really love like the Shady sprite because I think it's absolutely hilarious. But it's unfortunately it's like one of the things. I think there's actually no like grabbing animation or whatever, so you really can't actually tell whether or not like he's actually grabbing or just standing still. So there might even be a little bit more like delayed time, like between when Shady realizes that he's just, sitting there waiting for the rock to be like a rock animation, or as opposed to like just nothing's happening.
I cannot fathom how Shady is so good at playing this game competitively with sprites like the mouse pointer and this one. It's beyond me. I literally mess up constantly using these meme sprites, but 2 hearts did take a hit there from one of the moblins, and he's headed into Thieves Town. Andy, meanwhile, with the hunt exactly a hundo 10, is headed to Pod. Shady getting his mitts too and deciding to leave.
Okay. All right. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, we are currently, and as we've seen, no swords, and this might be an understandable time especially if you don't want to do the swordless script for blind. Maybe come back with some better equipment, as in more health or something like that. Maybe a sword potentially. Yeah, especially the mitts being the first chest of Thieves Town.
And Shady gonna do hammer pegs. So Andy's got literally one shot, one opportunity at this. If he were to take damage, which he does not, it would be a little catastrophic.
Yeah.
But Kiki is going to be opening up Pod. Meanwhile, Shady with the hammer pegs is going to get his hook shot. Why is the hook shot always there? I feel like the hook shot is literally always there, and it's obnoxious, but it's there. So we have acquired it.
That's right. Yeah, at least it's better in our hands than anywhere out in the world. Although some could argue that it maybe the worst spot for an item to be is your inventory if you've forgotten about it. You know, nowadays when a bunch of people use like auto trackers or whatnot, you know, or you can maybe post like if you don't use quick swap as much, you know, you actually get to see it and have a nice reminder. But yeah, we're just happy to have it. But I mean, dancing like this is very divergent routes actually. You know, from Shady and you know they have the same information, same 15-minute study period. We have gone like completely different corners, you know, of both like light and dark.
We really have, and I'm interested to see how this is all gonna resolve. Andy getting a mirror here in pod, that is very interesting. I gotta say, this is a little gutsy. No fire source. So the back here is going to be super sketchy for Andy. He decides to go ahead and clear this now. Speaking of a fire source, Shady grabbed one there in a paradox lower, or I guess upper mid. You know, it's a paradox. So the 2 chest room. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, speaking of a very timely fire source, the fact that, as you mentioned, Andy does not have one. I actually did not search for the lamp before this race. I just searched for it now. It is not in pod, I can tell you that. And so yeah, Andy, if you know pod is a crystal. We know we've got the bow, we got the hammer. This is, I mean, this is where Andy gets to maybe show, you know, build a little bit of character, you know, with this particular pod. Building character, that is probably the best way to describe it. Andy getting his big key, gonna go to Hellway. This is, well...
We need another key, maybe, for Hellway? I mean, yes, Hellway
I guess there's another key down here.
Okay.
I think both runners, Clear Mouse, are going for the same thing, but they are in different spots.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah. Andy's might be a little bit more dangerous than Shady's, for what it's worth.
Definitely. But Andy going to be the first to get a sword. We are no longer swordless. Everyone is happy. I am sad, but we now can swing and hurt things. Probably going to use that hammer more often than not, though, just because of the extra damage that it can do.
Yeah, well, I mean, we still wanted a swordless Steve, which is pretty much what you're doing, you know, with the swordless. We see that Andy actually is in a chat with us, you know, not only in spirit, in our hearts, actually physically here with us, telling us that maybe this room. Oh my
God, I see why.
Maybe
he
not
wanted us to ignore this room. Holy moly!
Everything is fine. Oh, you know what, Andy? Thank you for taking the sacrifice, because I believe Shady also got messed. He got bullied by Moldorm, and this is the second time taking down the sword. You know, so I'm still not actually sure which one is going to be easier to go obtain.
Oh no, oh Shady!
God. Oh, that was not the place to drop down.
Oh, please look at Shady right now, and that is a feeling I feel deep in my soul.
My
I feel so bad for him. In spoiler, like, it's worse only because you know, like, how much time it's costing you, and it weighs on you much more.
It does. And is it better or worse that you can actually see your opponent?
It's worse. It's worse. I don't know. It's worse. This is when it's like, I like pilot spoiler better, because I was like, don't tell me what's happening. We're behind. I know it.
That's actually really true. Yeah, at least you in this case have someone else to do all of the thinking and the pondering for you. All right, okay, you know what? All right, Shady doing actually a good thing. You know, the middle hole is actually useful sometimes.
This time it's useful. And he is going to use this hole as well to do a double fall. So 2 double falls. The intended strat. I like this. Andy, in this dark room, though, has that sword, is going to use Bombos. We'll see how many turtles he gets. But each runner with a sword now. Looks like he got it.
Oh, really nice then. Yeah.
Yeah, that worked out really well. I mean, the Helm of Fight is still not going to be free. 4 hearts, a green mail. You're basically 2 hits. 2 hits, you're dead. So you have 1 bit of like leniency here. We'll see how Andy does in the fight. 17 hammer hits with the way he is doing it. And then he's going to have to either use the hammer. I would not advise that without the boots. Or sword spins or the bow.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
I mean,
okay. He's using the old hammer
Oh.
strat from NMG.
Oh my
Very
gosh,
nice.
dude. Oh, very well
Solid.
done on Andy's side. That is very, very impressive fights. Especially phase 2. Yeah, as you mentioned, you know, also like a very common kind of like, I won't say backup, right? But alternative method is, of course, you using the bow helmet. You just rapid fire. Except the problem is we only have 5 arrows, and that's not enough. So you gotta at least get a little bit of danger. But Andy, very, very well done.
There's our Quake medallion. As we just saw Shady come through Super Bunny Cave. That's the trick. If you've watched Andy recently, he's been messing that up. So I mean, he's got the mirror this time. So maybe he needed that mirror before going to the mountain.
That's right. That's right. You know, we're learning from our past mistakes. All right. You know, that's every single mistake is an opportunity to do better in the future. See, there is our lamp
too.
You know, yes. Looks like Shady. You know, going up the mountain. Oh no! Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
I was more tense than he was.
If okay, so Shady, you know, being part of a team literally called the Spoilers, right? Certainly, and you know, he is actually in the pilot spoiler tournament that's going on currently. Has a lot of spoiler experience. The fact that he actually got the heart piece kind of makes me think that he's going to try and route in 4 heart pieces together, especially for a open spoiler, non-keys, you know, only the major items are shuffled. You know, you're not going to get a lot more opportunities probably to get a safety, and so you know, getting that 5th heart, you know, is actually going to be pretty dang valuable. So. So yeah. So I was gonna, like, if he ended up dropping, you know, probably not gonna be in the world, but you know, my guess is he'd probably try to plan it in, and then he'll just be more annoyed at himself. You know.
Oh yeah.
At the bar, probably.
Shady taking his time.
Oh yeah.
Going through this room. And by room, I mean screen.
Well,
the outdoor room of Palace of Darkness.
That's right. You know, it's probably in like a biodome or something. You know, there is actually, you know, like some ceiling upstairs that we actually can't get out of.
Yeah, the camera is actually under the trees. There's like a full like green ceiling here. If you look at the map, that's you know, I know I'm right. But right. Shady now going to be getting his items out of pod. He'll be getting his sword and mirror and gonna have a much easier time in the back of this dungeon with that lamp.
For sure. Yeah, and the lamp, and the fact that he'll have Master Sword going into Helma's Sword, because yeah, you mentioned in this case that, you know, we probably don't want to use sword spins, but the fact that we can actually slash Helma's Sword, you know, with the Master Sword that we are supposed to have by the, you know, the time that we actually get to this game, you know, in the casual playthrough. You know, in many different ways, this fight is way safer, you know, and more comfortable for Shady. Now that being said, he is still on 4 hard screen mail, you know, and it's not, you know, it's never going to be easy. It's just gonna be easier. True,
very true. So Shady going to be dropping down for the mirror. Andy in the Armos fight does set up the quick kill. Going to be delivering 18 arrows and gets a map for his trouble, but more importantly with that crystal that we need. That's number 2 for him. Shady not too far behind though, has just invested that time into the mountain. Andy is going to have to do that as well. So I don't really think we've given away much time on either runner's side, considering there's been a couple of hiccups along the way for both of them. Andy, meanwhile, heading into Saha's closet. I don't know what's in here. Yeah, I'm sure you guys in chat know what's in here. But adds a K to Samaria and a heart container. We're going to need that Samaria. That's going to get us to the back of Mire. That's going to get us through Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's true. Certainly going to be, you know, very, you know, convenient item. Also some more later items like, or later places like, you know, if you want to do Swamp for like Diver Down, couldn't really use it in pod since, you know, it's at Saha. The mirror is in pod, so it's kind of inconvenient to go to Saha before pod. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, and we also, of course, you know, some people also really enjoy using Samarias at the top of GT, you know, in order to dispel like the wizards, you know, both in both rooms very cleanly. Sometimes there also might be an unrealized dependency. I'm scared.
Oh no, I am too scared. I like the strat of Shady. Let's just bomb them all off the ledge.
Oh my gosh, dude, this is like, you see, you know, sometimes like. I mean, that if Moldorm only has a brain, That's all we need, because that was actually pretty heads up by Shady in order to dispel all of the beetles.
So Shady heading to the back of Palace of Darkness. We'll have that lamp. Is going to have to get arrows just like Andy did here in the Mimic's room. Should be fine. Andy getting his mitts now in Thieves Town, but I expect we will see him complete the dungeon. So Shady just dove in for that first chest.
Yeah, very interesting, different investments that both Andy and Shady ended up doing. So like Shady actually, his initial investment in order to go get the mitts, took an extra trip into Village of Outcast, especially without the mitts, right, going kind of around the long way, and then immediately booking it to Dark Death Mountain. Of course, got some nice goodies, but most importantly, probably got the the sword from Hera, and the lamp. And so now, like Pod becomes, a lot safer, a lot nicer. Andy, on the other hand, saved himself a trip to Village of Outcast. Unfortunately, maybe, had to do Pod in the dark, with Fire Sword. Did a very well, obviously very good job. It's just different sources of investment here.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think this through. I don't really think Shady's wasted any time by going up the mountain early. I think Andy is going to have to double the mountain climb as well. Because he will probably need that lamp. Definitely needs the fire rod for Skull Woods. So he is going to have to, make a trip up and then come back. So Shady, analyzing that really well in that study period and knowing he could get this early and be a little safer.
I think Andy...
no, that was close.
Oh, yeah. Do you see where Shady is? Well, you can't even see where Shady is standing because literally, like, 1 pixel higher is Helmasaur. I don't know how he didn't die, but I guess Moldorm is slipperier than we think it is.
That Moldorm, I mean, the sprite just kind of bopped Helma back just a bit. That knockback may be in effect here. Probably not actually, but that's the story we're going to stick with.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. It's also kind of like floating a little, So maybe it's a little bit even lower. Like the hitbox is a little bit lower than we think it is too. Who knows?
It's true. It's true.
No, I think that one thing that Andy might be able to do maybe gets a little bit of efficiency on Shady. Well, we'll see what ends up happening because he also has the mirror. If he wants to go do Hera like en route, to like the rest of the mountain, he doesn't have to maybe double back. What Shady did, where Shady got to Paradox, walked to Hera, and then had to walk back to Super Bunny because you have the mirror, right? You have to do all the Light World stuff before Dark World. Andy's gonna be able to use the mirror that he got in Pod that Shady didn't otherwise have. So we'll see. It's also kind of hard, I think, to judge without kind of more actively timing this.
Hey, there's an ice round.
Hey, there is an ice round. Everything's just on the way.
Is it really on the way? Like, I mean, that damage Andy just took's on the way. Yes. Shady's thinking about his route. His sprite thinking for him.
There are some things on the way that we do not want to pick up. It's kind of like obstacle avoidance, right? You ever play those kind of games where it's like all the food is on the conveyor belt except you got a couple of bombs or whatever, or like something you don't want to, you got to avoid them. Yeah, that's like kind of like the damage.
I gotta say, this fight's probably gonna go well for Andy, considering there's like a delay, and not like an actual delay, but the restream delay. And Andy's talking strategies with chat here about Helmasaur. So, we're already into phase 3. Well, he should be fine.
Oh yeah. I mean, look at all this extra health that he didn't even need.
And more health
as a prize. Oh my gosh, dude!
Look at this.
I was told that this was low percent. Everyone's gonna within an inch of their life at all times.
Listen, if we're doing Master Sword gaining today,
okay, that's true.
This is still very low percent.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
That's also true, and I do think that we're probably not going to see any armor this game. The one viable one, just take a quick look at this one, is in, the Shady's Sprite's Summer Home Mini Moldorm Cave in Light World. Except the problem is nothing else is kind of there, so maybe, it's already fall. Maybe, we can't really go up to our summer cabin anymore.
Yeah,
so we're probably not going to go get that.
Nice fight there by Shady, though. That's going to give him crystal number 2 and bring his count up to 2. Andy up to 3 now with that Thieves Town. I'm assuming we'll see Shady go to Thieves Town soon. Probably going to combo Thieves and Skull Woods. He did not want to go in that portal. You could see he was not too thrilled about that mirror transition time.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, and especially Shady, yeah, and of course, certainly Andy, true. But I mean, it's kind of at this level, right? Even the little things can, you know, and will add up. You know, you might think, oh, it's just an extra, you know, like 2 mirror transitions, right?
Right.
Well, you know, mirror transition costs like 4 to 5 seconds. You know, it's like 10 seconds that you just, you know, use for no reason. You know, so you really, you know, don't in this case maybe want to spend, and you know, that is time that you didn't have to give to your opponent. Type of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We also do see, by the way, Shady, you know, again, I think he's routing in more heart pieces. You know, Andy ended up, when he was Asaha, he only got the middle and right chest. Did not pick up the heart piece. You know, that was in the left chest. We're gonna probably see in this case if Andy decides to pick up like the heart piece that's in the 4th chest of Hookshot Key that Shady did as well. But you know, I mean, I think at the end of all this, Shady might end up with an extra heart container, you know, for some extra safety, you know, over Andy. You know, and again, it could make or break the difference.
Yeah, you're gonna need to be over 8 if we're not getting armor for it to matter, I guess, for Ganon. But oh, Shady into Ice Palace.
Wow, wow.
It's
okay.
a pendant.
Is this a
play? Is this a play for a sword?
I mean, yes. Is there
anything else here? That's a legitimate question. I have no idea.
I don't think nothing else is here except for that sword. So this is actually, yes, it's a very interesting decision by Shady. I didn't actually know that this was actually on the table for anybody. But you know, if you really want the if you really want the tempered sword, this is the only place to go get it.
I really want it. I do. I really do. If you're gonna give me a sword, just give me all of them. At least all of the NMG ones.
Yes,
but
it's true. I mean, and the fact that we are here, and not necessarily like this is like mid game, you know, type of thing. Yeah, as you actually see, Andy, we're skipping all the heart pieces today. But in order to get a master sword,
it's only there. I thought it was on the boss. Okay, that's not that bad.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I mean, like, always getting a temper sword is going to be, you know, especially regardless of maybe how close it is, because it's definitely not, you know, on the path, right? It is always going to be an investment. If that temper sword will make up some amount of time difference, though, that investment could be worth it for you.
Oh, I'm absolutely going to get that. Like, that is, I kind of expect to see Andy get that one too. That is close enough. So we'll answer some questions here in chat. So where are the silvers? They are in the Ganon's Tower big chest. So we are not getting that, by the way. The other sword is in the Bonk Rocks in the overworld. But where are those pesky boots, you may ask? They are also in Ganon's Tower. So that sword is pretty much off the table as well.
Yeah, not even off the table. It's not even the same house, you know? Again, it's probably some like storage, you know, closet somewhere. Very nice fight for Andy. I think it's just having the physical sword in your possession that lets Moldorm, you know, behave. Because Shady didn't have it.
Maybe.
And he had 2 falls from Moldorm. 3 intentional. 3rd one's intentional, but yes. So I really just think that's the secret.
All right, so Andy with his sword, let's see where he is headed. He's going to ice too. All right, so he's going to have a tempered. So this won't be too terrible for both of these guys. I think that's even better. Right. Shady into swamp. What are we missing, Clear Mouse? We know where the ice rod is. We've seen it pop up on Andy's side. We know where the Bombos is. So does Shady. I mean, they both got... I guess we're go mode, yeah?
I think that's it. Yeah. I don't think there's probably anything else in swamp. Now, there might be, maybe... I didn't check for any more, like, bottles or whatnot. Andy does need to go kill the Bari. Unfortunately, this is not bring your own keys. We do have to use all resources available to us in the dungeon.
It's true. It's true. So, not opening a single chest. I love it.
Yeah.
Shady just heading to the back.
Yeah, I think at this point, for how much experience probably, you know, Shady and of course Andy have with spoiler. You even saw this in like Blindside too. You just you got to open up the chest you only care about. You don't gotta waste your extra time with the item fanfare and you know the chest, you know, opening animation, all that stuff. Less punishing in non-keys, right? Because you don't have those pesky test boxes, you know, for like keys and maps and stuff like that. But still, you still have the time. You gotta go over the chest. Well,
Shady has capitalized on his heart piece investment And
container
got an extra one as well, so that's huge. He's actually one ahead of Andy in the heart count.
Yeah, and he hasn't fought blind yet either, you know, in Thieves Town, which we saw Andy pick up a heart container, so he's going to be at a pretty comfortable 8 hearts.
All right, so Andy in chat, because spoiler, it allows it, has said he only got the tempered because Shady did. So this is where
it's super fair, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice metagame type thing. You're like, oh, well, my opponent's doing this. I'll spend the time to do it.
Yeah, yeah. This is actually quite cool to see because, you know, sometimes you're just like, man, am I really going to be stuck doing Master Sword Silvers or, you know, Master Sword or, you know, whatever, right? Yeah, exactly. Am I really going to be stuck? You know, because I don't want to spend all this extra time, but it's just like, well, my opponent did it.
Mm-hmm.
If you
solid phase 2 there from Shady, cleaning up that Argus fight and going to get his 3rd crystal of the seed.
Yeah. All right, so it looks like, you know, so Shady still of course, has to go do Thieves Town, and Andy is pretty much just starting, you know, Swamp Palace. Now, I think after these respective dungeons, they'll be pretty even. I mean, honestly, like, across all of this stuff, really, it actually doesn't look like there's too much difference between...
There's really not.
Yeah, between all of the different, like, you know, divergent routes and everything. But I will say, like, being swordless, for the most part, being, you know, bootsless for the entirety of it can, in fact, you know, maybe gives a little bit of way for execution.
Yeah, it definitely can. I mean, you know, we saw some hiccups like we were saying earlier on both player sides, literally the same time, just different places. Andy and Pod with a little bit of trouble in the arena, and Shady with trouble at Moldorm. We are going to get chess game here. I don't think we saw this on Andy's side. That is another heart container.
Were you saying that it would only really make a difference? We had 9 hearts or something over 8? Because I'm pretty sure
I did. And he's going to have 10. He's literally about to go beat blind, and we know one's there. So incredible.
That is, I mean, Shady is going to be super safe. We're actually going to be able to take one whole Ganon hug if we wanted to. We don't want to per se, but you know, we can. Sometimes Ganon gets a little close, and then you gotta push him off a little. Yeah.
I mean, when this was advertised, you know, early that this was going to be a doozy of a seed, Andy's not even getting the heart container.
I know. That was actually really that's
a little gutsy. I'm a little shocked by that. Maybe he feels like I need to make up a little time just in case.
I mean, you know, Shady. I don't know if Shady's actually watching. Nice. Oh my gosh, that bunny sprite is hilarious.
I am so over that bunny sprite already.
Oh my gosh. But I was gonna say, like, so Shady also got apparently this half magic here in the big key chest of Thieves Town, which Andy also has skipped. You know, so we're actually gonna see
Andy's in a spot here. He is Oko in this fight.
Maybe that extra heart container would have been a good idea.
Might have been.
Yeah,
but
okay, well,
we're in. Oh, what is this? Argus coming from above. But he is going to survive that. Nicely done. That's going to be crystal number 4. I can count.
Yeah, yeah, crystal number 4. 2 hearts.
Counting's very difficult.
It is. You know, the reason, that's why we have compasses, and that's why we have trackers, and we have charts.
Shady up in the attic. This is the hardest room in spoiler. I want to say that to everyone that Shady's about to do. Andy already did it, but you know, making sure you do not walk or run out of this room before the hole actually opens. It's actually the most difficult thing.
Yes, I agree. And sometimes you just have to especially watch the hole open, because sometimes, you know, if you can catch it early, you know, it's like, if the hole didn't explode, let me go back. And you get kind of annoyed because you got to go back to the room. But make sure to watch it, because when you get downstairs and you deliver the maiden to the boss room and there's no sunlight,
you cry.
You are going to be extremely sad.
There will be weeping on the face cams instead of just kind of sighing. Andy actually getting a heart piece there. That's actually going to give him a... Why invest? Okay, Andy, why invest that time, but not
I know,
for the free one in Waterfall? Like, I'm sorry, I am so confused. Maybe he should stop talking strategies with the SG chat right now.
What's on ped?
I don't. You tell us.
Yeah, you're
Somebody
right.
in chat tell us. They're looking at the log. But Shady about to deliver this maiden and get to the blind fight. But I want to say, you know, everything's kind of washed out now. Andy with a little bit of an advantage, basically half a Skull Woods, we'll say.
Yeah, something like that. And it's gonna be maybe slightly. Shady's gonna probably not have to go get the map chest in Skull Woods, which, you know, again, for Andy, there was, you know, a handful of seconds time investment, probably like, you know, 15-ish, something like that. Yeah, so it's a little bit closer, but yeah, I would say, you know, a good estimate is probably half a Skull Woods.
And that is crystal number 4 for Shady. Very solid fight there. We're gonna be up to heart number 10. Wait, that's 9.
It's only 9, I think.
I told you I can't count. I'm sorry.
It's the same number of hits that you need to hit blind with. I learned this from always being able to count.
Yeah, I can't. So, moth fight over on the right side of your screen, and it's over. So that was quick. 7 out of 10. All 3 spikes went away, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, you know, again, like, this is Andy is boostless, so you can't really, you know, there's some really nice like NMG strats that you can do with the tempered sword, but it does involve the boost. You'll try and poke dash them at the beginning, get an extra, you know, count hit or two. But in this case, all you can really do is, you know, start slashing and spinning, and yeah, so a pretty good fight. We see Andy. I see. I think he maybe didn't, you know, Andy, you know, again, you letting chat, you know, this is an interactive race, you know, it's a communal effort.
So, Andy gonna spend a little time and a little cash. He's gonna go get a red goo. We are headed to Misery Mire. Vitreous, very tough fight here on this equipment. Should be fine, both of them, given their abilities and expertise in the game, but you know, we have seen different things go awry at different points.
Like,
nice double shot there from Shady with that splash damage on the fire rod to take care of 2 Gibdos.
Yeah, this is actually maybe when some of the half match is actually paying off, and the fact that we have heart beams, the sword beams does not pay off whatsoever. You can see actually Shady trying to slash away some of the mummies, and unfortunately only the sword beams registered and not the tempered sword. But yeah, this is going to be some of a more comfier fight, you know, for Shady as well. Half magic, being able to kind of dislodge Mothula, you know, from if he gets to be stuck in a corner somewhere.
This moth really not cooperating for Shady, but he does get the fight done, and that is Crystal 5. Just 2 to go for both of these guys. We got Mire and TR, literally the last 2 of the vanilla game.
That's right. And you know what our reward is, Dante? Not only, of course, not just beating the game, because that is the goal. The reward of getting 2 more crystals is that we get to go get our boots. I can't wait.
It's true. You know, there might be. They could forget the boots. Don't remind them, chat. Don't nobody remind them. I want to see Andy going to the back. He's giving away time.
Suddenly,
huge.
He may not be a half of a Skull Woods.
Andy memeing too hard. This is what he gets. This is what he gets, chat.
Where is the big key? I didn't actually look up any of the big keys.
Andy hates the Misery Mire big key.
Oh my gosh. Oh, all right. It looks like it's just on the bridge chest. Oh, this is. Oh my gosh, hilarious.
Incredible.
If only we had the boots in order to cross this bridge.
They've been. Both these guys have been playing cross keys, I think. You know.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, you've got keys to. You always hook across to get that chest, right? Like if you're just like.
Exactly.
Incredible.
The big key. I wonder if Shady's watching, you know, in this particular case. You know, sometimes, you know, especially if your opponent's ahead, you could be like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. I should not do this, or I should do this, you know, type of thing.
Well, if he's watching, or not, he shouldn't do what Andy did.
That's true. But yeah, but okay, we're definitely going to the big key on the Mire bridge chest. That is definitely a good thing for Shady. But yeah, something, you know,
time save.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, and so all of a sudden, like the buffer, difference between Shady here and Andy has closed pretty significantly. Now, okay, like would boosts have really helped out that much? Yes, like to some extent, but probably it's the fact that Andy had to kind of like backtrack a bit.
Yeah, Andy didn't go for bomb spooky. I'm offended.
Why? He has 8 bombs. Why not?
But anyway, we're kind of joking around, but like, I mean, this is pretty close. This fight, as well as GT, definitely not easy. So, stay tuned. This is definitely potential. Oh, Shady.
I know. I'm actually, yeah. I think Shady's gonna try and arm Spooky using the fire rod. Very, very interesting. Don't powder Shady.
And I blinked, and all the eyes are gone. Andy has survived. He didn't even use that red goo that he purchased, so he does have that safety in his back pocket. But that's kind of counterbalanced. Very nice Spooky there from Shady.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's counterbalanced by Shady's half magic that he has.
Yeah, no, the fact that Shady was able to set up Spooky with the ice rod, very, very impressive. Also, be able to, save a couple of good, handful of seconds over Andy, because he had kind of like wait for the whole bomb explosion, go for the screen transition, hit the switch, and coming out. Yeah, it's very well done. And yeah, of course, Andy's like Victory's fight, very top tier as always. Andy is a phenomenal NMG runner.
He's fine. I knew what was happening.
That's right.
He was taking it on the chin, on the Moldorm chin. But we have Crystal 6 for Shady. So now it is a matter of climbing the mountain, final time, going through Turtle Rock, and then climbing GT.
Right, we still have one more dungeon. I forgot. I was so excited. I was like, oh, we're gonna climb the mountain. We can go to GT. We can go get. Ever go to GT with only 6 crystals, Nancy? Just asking for a friend.
I can't ever say I have, unless it was mystery, and I was hoping that it was open at 6, and hadn't read the sign. But yeah, no, I can't say I have.
All right, that's good.
Andy entering the portal. Chat informing us 50-second difference between the two runners. I haven't done the time. I guess when this gets highlighted and put on YouTube, you guys who are watching it later can tell me if we're right.
You can also see maybe Shady, being a little bit more cavalier, about his general health situation. You just kind of see him taking
that was so sketchy.
Whatever,
That dead rock, was like one more pixel down, and Shady's having a time sink of waiting.
All right, looks like we're gonna go through Turtle Rock, and of course all the keys are here. You just gotta kind of figure out what the key configuration is. Looks like we do have to go through Roller Room today. Probably gonna be either big key is here or a bunch of small keys that we need.
Oh look, it's both.
Yes. Why not both?
Let's cheer for it. Why not both?
All right, I am gonna be kind of interested to see in this case if Andy or if Shady goes for silvers. Probably with Tempered Sword, right now, this probably not worth it for them. It might still be. Safeties are always a great set of safety item to have.
It's such a... Okay, so silvers are GT big chest, not the big key chest.
Correct. Yes, the big chest.
But the big key is in Fire Snake.
Yes. So you're already pretty far, on left side of GT. Is it 30 seconds to get from Fire Snake over to the big chest? I don't know. I haven't done the math yet. I haven't timed it.
So I'm sure there's a right answer to this. Like there's going to be, but for me, I don't know what it is. So if I'm in Shady's shoes right now, I'm going to be watching. I'm going to see what Andy is going to do. And if Andy goes for them, I'm gonna skip him and hope.
Oh, yeah.
And if he doesn't go for them, then maybe I go get them and hope. I'm gonna maybe do the opposite just to see what could happen, because I don't know the timings on this. Chat's probably about to tell me, but that's what I would do.
Yeah, yeah. Chad also is kind of bringing up, like, I mean, you know, saying that this case at the climb, you know, is definitely easier with silvers, especially for Andy. You know, unfortunately, we can't dash in the dash room here in Turtle Rock. But, you know, the fact that, so we do have a lamp at least, you know, but Shady's going to be able to use his half magic, you know, in order to take down, you know, use a fire rod basically at will. Andy, without the half magic, you know, probably can't be as cavalier, you know, with his magic spending.
Yeah, he'll have to be a little careful. But we are in the dark maze on Andy's side. Pokies 2 for Shady Force. Oh, the fire.
Oh, this is okay. Everything's fine.
Everything's okay. He's got a powder.
Exactly,
He's got powder.
Exactly.
He needs it. He can use it. Got no reason. There is no need to be upset.
Yeah, and this is also kind of another reason why, you know, it's kind of nice to have all of this health, especially for Turtle Rock, you know, and to some extent Mire, you know, all of the late game dungeons where health is an extremely valuable resource, one of the best resources you'll have, you know, and while, you know, while it looks like Shady, you know, especially having 9 hearts, like, what could possibly go wrong in Turtle Rock? One hit is all it really, you know, makes you kind of be like, oh, maybe I should be a little bit more careful. You know, one more hit.
Yeah.
We're on. We're gonna be hearing some heartbeats of encouragement, or we might be just seeing the death animation screen.
Andy going for backdoor bootsless strats on Trinex. I commend him for his efforts. He gets the one cycle on the head extension. But we're into phase 2. He does not get any spins. He is now in Oko. Gonna have to be very careful, but gets all of them in. Shady takes a death. No.
Oh no. Oh no. That is actually a pretty
costly death. No.
Yeah. That is really, really unfortunate. Didn't make it to the safety door, which, you know, can in this case save yourself a little bit of extra time. But Shady is going to have to do the bulk of the front of Turtle Rock. Now, for what it's worth, going back to Trinex, you know, is actually only, you know, 2 minutes. So it's not like as, you know, maybe as painful as you might think it is, because especially like if you compare it to the first time you go through Turtle Rock, right? You gotta open all these chests, you gotta do all these rooms the intended way in order to get to things. And, you know, when you're going through the second time, you could just literally go from room to room. So it's not as bad as you might think it is.
It's still not great. I mean, I applaud you for looking at the bright side of it.
I didn't say right. It's not.
Yeah.
It's still bad. Tough. It's just maybe not as bad as you might think it is.
Well, trust me, everything that happens, even in spoiler, that goes wrong, it always feels worse to you, the runner. It feels worse than it actually is. It ain't great, and it may have cost you the race, but mentally, it does feel worse. Most times when you're the one who's driving, so to speak.
All right, and by the way, Andy has opened up GT. We are going to left side. We cannot get the small key on the torch because, well, we can't do anything about it until we go get those nice boots. Even the Quake Medallion won't help us here. But Andy is going to stop this room. We're going to go get, finally, our reward for going through this entire 46 minutes without the boots.
We've done it. We can press the A button.
We can now play the game. There are a lot of GT small keys in here.
He's not even doing it.
Yeah. This makes me think that we might be going getting silvers. There's a lot of small keys. Maybe we're just gonna go skip some.
I mean, he's watching.
That's true.
Chad had been speculating on what to maybe do. Oh no, Shady, please. I believe this is where I'm gonna blame the sprite. I'm gonna blame the sprite.
All right, we got our small key off of Laser Bridge. That is the important thing that we needed, so we can go and continue to play the game.
Andy not gonna get silvers. He is headed to the top.
Yeah, I mean, we got our 2 small keys for upstairs. We don't have to go do anything. We can skip the mini Helma, skip all of the chests. Andy even skipped double switch pocket chest for the key. Don't have to see that too often.
No mimic clipping today. We have arrows, we have a bow, we have all of it. And Trinex phase 1 going down for Shady into phase 2. He doesn't have the luxury Andy did of taking this hit here, so let's hope he gets the spin off in time. He does, gets 1 instead of the double, but salvages a nice phase 2 out of that fight. And that's going to be Crystal 7 for Shady, and he'll be headed to GT as well. Andy, meanwhile, into the gauntlet now. G1 goes down pretty quickly. 48-minute mark, we're into G2. And 3 Stalfos, not giving him the best RNG, but he gets it done. Into G3, 3 Zyzacs waiting for you. He is Oko if he touches the Zyzac at 2 hearts. This is not over. I mean, a death in GT would be huge, but G4 and G5 playing nice. How did he get through that?
Wow, Andy. Power of the boots.
He's getting away with this.
Power of the boots, you know? All right, we're going to see some nice synced land moluses in here in GT. Nice spins to take care of them. But yeah, it looks like Andy did not want to take an early exit and start reclimbing the mountain prematurely. Or mountain, GT. So we're
it's as big as the mountain.
Actually, it's true. There's a whole tower.
But he didn't use the bow, so, I mean, I think we need to complain about that.
Yeah. All right, Shady on his way inside GT, going to his final reward, which of course is the boots. We can't really tell that the Moldorm sprite is wearing the boots because he is kind of, but you know what? After this, he's basically hovering, so you know that he has boots.
Yeah, he's been hovering this whole time. I hope everyone's upset about that.
Yeah, you can start to see this Shady using his half magic, no problems whatsoever. You know, no concerns. Kind of a nice, actually, little neat game knowledge that you can actually just go kill the Stalfos in one shot, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, very, very clean.
Well, Andy didn't want to watch during GT is what he's saying in the chat, and noticing the difference now. We are going to hover the Moldorm Gap. He is going to be successful.
Yeah, very well done. You know, I mean, you know, Shady, again, he's been hovering, as you said, this whole seat. You know, Andy's just got to, you know, even it up a little bit, right?
I need Shady to teach me how to do his method here.
Maybe it's only a Shady thing, you know? I can certainly believe that.
Shady is going for the silvers here.
Oh, no!
He's smiling about it. That's good.
That's
you know.
true. That's true. Yeah. But I do see some comments though made by some boots aficionados in chat.
Look, it's hard. It's hard to remember.
I know because you've got them so late, and sometimes it's like once you pass like the 50-minute mark, you just kind of forget, you know, that you even have them.
Now
we remember we have boots. Poor Shady. I'm sorry, Shady.
Is now crashing down for Andy. Agatu was fairly quick. But off we go to the Ganon fight. That is all that awaits Andy or stands in his way, I guess I should say, from winning. Oh, General Kenobi. I like that we have new and exciting old memes for our text boxes. Into phase 2 already here for Andy. Getting the buff. Oh, he tried to be hot and spicy and getting through those bats bufferless. He did it one time. The second time he did not. Down to 3 hearts. So he is Oko no matter what happens in this fight on green mail. But we are into phase 3. Shady about to head into the gauntlet. Has to get over the bridge. The cannonball bridge.
Yeah, and of course, I'm very glad that Shady remembers that he has boots now. Destiny makes the gauntlet a much better situation. Not good, ever. You know, as you mentioned, it's going to be 3 hearts, but we do have boots. We have Temper Sword. We've got Fire Rod that Shady's used very, efficiently for. He just has to be able to, as you mentioned, not die. Just like Andy. Everyone's, especially in spoiler, don't die.
That's sometimes in spoiler the hardest part. Routing can be easy in some seeds, but not dying, that's the true challenge. And then sometimes it's the other way around.
Andy certainly passed the most difficult parts, and he also can't take like a fire bat hit without having to take an early exit as well and start the Ganon fight over. But he's doing very well in phase 4, getting those triples in, got torch glitch.
And that is going to do it. Andy and Ganon are both blowing up. Andy is lit on screen using that lamp. Get your GGs in the chat for Andy. Going to take this race, move on to face Gamachu in the bracket. A hot and spicy rematch from last year. I'll be looking forward to seeing that one.
It's true. Last year it was the finals, correct?
It was. It was.
Spoiler in general is extremely challenging. You know, definitely it tests a lot of your different abilities, not only of course for routing the seed, but also execution. The best you could do for yourself is try to be as honest as possible, because if you can't make something on low percent, it's probably worth your time to go get some safeties.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we are here, joined by today's victor though, Andy. GG's.
GG's.
So what we learned is that I have no idea how you were routing hearts through this whole race, because you passed up free heart containers, at least one, but went out of your way for a heart piece. So I don't know. I really don't know what to say to you.
Dude, I got to keep you guys guessing start to finish,
Perfect.
So I had my route up to, usually I look for heart containers. If I don't see any super free ones next to items I need at some point. And there were 2 of those in my path, plus I decided to get money for early pod, plus 3 heart pieces in Cackwell. So I was like, I don't really care about any of the other hearts. I definitely forgot to look at another heart piece, literally anywhere, and I laughed when right as I walked by Flooded Room and Swamp, I was like, oh, I should have grabbed that one.
Should have grabbed that one. You should have grabbed Waterfall.
Yeah, Waterfall probably would have been the smartest one. I definitely looked at what was in Waterfall at some point.
I mean, it was a container, which is why I was very perplexed that...
No, Waterfall didn't have anything. It had a bottle
swamp, right?
and 10 arrows.
It's about Waterfall.
Oh, you mean Waterfall and Swamp?
And Swamp, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I wasn't worried about health at all.
As he
it was mostly getting... Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, I was like, I have these 3 heart pieces. I might as well get this 4th somewhere. And so I looked in Skullwoods and I found one. And I was like, okay, we'll just get that one. It's fine. It was mostly getting health for pod. The 4 heart only Bombos and Fighter's Sword pod. Was slightly ambitious.
Yeah.
I wasn't really that worried with Bombos. I'm extremely confident in my ability to knock over all the turtles in the dark. It's just killing them after that's usually the problem, and with Bombos that makes that easy, right?
So that was why maybe you didn't delay Bombos like Shady to be I guess a little efficient with it.
Yeah, I thought about it, but there's 0 shot I do pod early if I'm only going in with nothing. Because there's a 5% chance of survival, right? If that. So yeah, Bombos early was a no-brainer for me for the pod early. I wanted the sword, so I was weighing what I was more likely to die to: hammer only blind with 4 hearts, or fighter sword Bombos dark pod with 4 hearts. And I think I was more likely to die to blinds than pod.
Yeah, you could have taken Shady finishing here, by the way. So everybody get your GGs in chat if you haven't already for Shady. But yeah, Shady went in, got those mitts left, and then went to the mountain, which was pretty interesting routing decision. You guys unfortunately both had a little bit of hiccups around the same time, just in different places. And we are joined by Shady as well. GGs.
Yo, Shady, GG.
Thank you. GG's, Andy.
GG, Shady.
Yeah, overall, I mean, this was a pretty exciting race. Both of you, a little bit of divergence early, like I was saying. Shady taking the path to Dark World, getting the mitts out of Thieves Town, and then heading up the mountain for Sword 1. Meanwhile, Andy, you took the dark path through pods.
Yeah. I guess I'm curious, Shady. Like, were you always planning to getting Tempered Sword?
Yeah. I pretty much
Okay.
decided relatively early that I was going to get beat Moldorm to get the Tempered. The other two swords you're always going to get the other two swords. I reckon. Like the Ice Palace sword's pretty quick. But yeah, I decided fairly too early, and I didn't really feel the need to change it. There's not a whole lot of safety in this seed. Like a lot of heart containers, but there's no mail upgrades. There's no useful bottles. There's no Caper Burner. There's no silvers. So like, there's a lot of places where it's just really difficult. Like Vitreous, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's kind of worth it. That's also why I got the lamp. And then because I decided, I guess Andy, you skipped the lamp. I'm guessing.
No, I like tuned in after a little bit and saw our route divergence, and you went up the mountain way before I did because I did Pod Eastern first. And I saw that you got the lamp and the Moldorm sword and then the Ice Palace sword, and I was like, okay, I think that gives me a free pass to do all of this stuff too. I was like waffling between skipping lamp and getting half magic, and getting lamp skipping half magic. But I was gonna just leave Moldorm sword for right before GT. I was gonna get the boots, get the big key mirror, and go get the Moldorm sword and then climb, and then do fighter sword or master sword silvers. But because you got those swords, I ended up getting those swords too.
Yeah, I feel like if I had delayed the sword and I didn't have it for Argus or Vitreous or whatever, then I would have just not got it at all. Because you do get you can get the silvers in GT, and then you can just stay on Master Sword. But I decided I'd just get the Temperate super early. I think overall I'm quite happy with my route, with the exception of obviously leaving Thieves Town is slower. But I did not feel confident in like 3 hearts, hammer blind. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna get it in bail and go and get nice stuff and do it later and then run up to Skull. It'll definitely be slower, but safer. And I think I should have used the top portal on the mountain as well. Instead of hopping down, I think I did the mountain a lot slower than I could have. But obviously the main things were the Moldorm Falls, plural, and the Laser Bridge depth. Like that's like most of the difference, I reckon.
Yeah, the blind dying probability was why I did pod early with Bombos and a sword. Like I'm probably dying to blind with 4 hearts and a hammer. Like not 100% of the time, but like odds are blind's winning that fight.
Maybe if we were just coming out of an inverted tournament, we would be a bit more confident.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was definitely really. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say just a couple brain farts throughout. The pod switch room on the way to Helma. I don't know why I thought I had to hit that switch multiple times. And then Meyer just walking to the big key door without the big key. And having to backtrack. Probably that, like, those 2 rooms by themselves probably lost me like 45 seconds to a minute. They were pretty bad. Other than that, I was pretty happy with though.
I had so many mirror bonks just after pod. It was so annoying. Well, not mirror bonks per se, but like I left my portal outside pod and I go to Eastern and then I want to go to Sal's closet. But I plant the bomb, but then I walk down into the portal before I pick up the bomb, and I'm like, oh, damn it. so then I just walk over to Sal's closet and I mirror and I go in and I get my item and I've got the flute ready and I'm like, have I put this portal too close to the door? So I'm mashing the flute as I'm leaving. But no, I just straight into the portal again. 20 seconds down the drain.
Yeah, it can definitely add up. Yeah, Andy, like we were saying earlier, you're going on to face Gamma, which I believe is a rematch from last year. So that should be super exciting.
I laser bridged myself against Gamma last year, so hopefully Shady, unfortunately, getting laser bridged isn't like an omen for bad news next round. I think I got laser bridged twice in game 2 of the finals last year.
Oh yeah,
and
I remember that. Was something with your controller? I think
no,
there was
that was just a skill issue.
Okay.
I did take a loss to Relk in that tournament, I think, because I got a phantom left input in like the first room in upstairs GT and just like walked into the spikes for no reason. And you know me with my like 4 heart GT climbs, that didn't help very much. But
yeah, the crabs in GT make it really tough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that wasn't even spoiler. That was me being stupid in like 3 straight tournaments. Just over my ego's too big, and I think I can take Ice Rod Cave with 3 hearts and no weapons. But yeah, Gamma's gonna be a really tough race. I mean, even Shady's a tough race. Everybody who makes top 8 in spoiler can beat anybody else. So,
very true. But yeah, unfortunately, this is end of the road for Shady. Very good showing though. Top 8, like Andy was saying, that's really solid.
Yeah, I mean, like, if it wasn't Andy this week, it was gonna be Gamma next week. It's just like, it's tough. It's tough at this end of the tournament. But yeah, I'm happy with how I've done. I'm not happy with how I played, but I think top 8 is a decent result anyway. So I'm very proud of that. But I just wish I played a little bit better. Maybe made this race a little bit closer without the dumb stuff. I would have been a bit happier. But I mean, I'm always an underdog, I think, against Andy. So, but yeah, anyway, GG's Andy, and best of luck in the next round. It should be a great race, that one.
Let's see. Clear Mouse, what we got? Spoiler action. Is there one tomorrow, right?
There is, yeah. 6:15, Skelly versus Specs. Should also be a very exciting match. So that's on the other side of the losers bracket. So winner of that race faces Jambo, and then those two together was going to face the winner of Andy versus Gamma. So pretty stacked. Even this is even losers bracket side too. So going to be pretty exciting.
Excuse me, it is called lowers bracket.
No, you're right. It says lower bracket.
Shame us
you are
like
right. That. You're moving on, Andy.
This is the challenge
I'm only shaming
bracket,
one person.
actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm just reading what's at the bottom.
That's right. Yeah. Desmond, best of luck in moving forward in the next round, Andy. As you said, it's gonna be pretty tough, but also gonna be pretty exciting for us to watch. So we'll definitely wait for you guys to go schedule. And yeah, believe tomorrow night it's gonna be Skelly versus Specs. Also at 6:18 on channel TBD. And I think also, are you also racing tonight, Andy, in Cross Keys at 9 p.m.?
Yep, I'm leaving for a week tomorrow, so I just kind of
I see.
feel like I have to do some of these things before I go, to not like overwhelm myself when I get back.
Yeah,
thanks for coming, guys. As always, putting on the high quality restream. Thanks for
thank you.
Restreamers and trackers and all that stuff. Appreciate you.
Yeah, huge shout outs to Aria for doing the tracking for us, as it's much harder to do in spoiler.
Oh yeah, things are much faster.
It's faster. Plus, there's like pre-work. It's not just watch and click. And so definitely a little more involved. So huge thank yous for that. Again, GG's to Andy and Shady. This is probably gonna end it for us, Clear Mouse. So I'll throw it over to you to close this out.
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you so much, Andy and Shady. As always, you guys are a pleasure to watch, both individually, of course. This match was extremely fun, despite not having any boots for 40 to 50 minutes. But, that's how the seat rolls sometimes. Yeah, and thank you so much, Dante, for commentary. Aria for tracking. Skillful and quick as always. And yeah, so I think Andy's racing tonight at 9 p.m. for his cross-key smash versus Furious Magic. That's going to be game 1 of his brackets. I believe, actually, you will head over to Dante's channel in about 2.5 hours at 9 p.m. Eastern. You will get to hear a very familiar face on a very familiar channel. It's going to be a very fun time. And actually, I think Shady is actually still in the Pilot Spoiler Tournament. I believe their first race is this weekend. Should be also really exciting to be able to watch. He, and of course, on the team with Zelga, going to be doing some piloting. Oh yeah, doing some spoilering. It's gonna be great. Yeah, but I think so tomorrow night though for SGL Online, it's gonna be 6:15. Channel TBD, Skelly versus Specs. Yeah, until then, have a great rest of your evening. Yeah, and go to twitch.tv/Dante to go watch Andy versus Furious Magic later.